Think back to where you were just for a minute now, 25 years ago tonight. The year, 1964. For a lot of people, it doesn't take long to know exactly where they were just about this time of the night. Thousands of Louisiana teenagers were at City Park. Those four young kids from Liverpool, known as the Beatles, were giving a concert. News 8's Robin Cohen reports, for those who attended the show a quarter of a century ago, it seems just like yesterday.
The first song that they sang was Twist and Shout, and that's a real, fast and loud song, and I think that's kind of got the fans riled up.
Riled up is an understatement. This was the first time the Fab Four toured the United States, and the only time they were ever in New Orleans.
I was a freshman in high school. I was 14.
Audrey Kennedy sat right here during the concert, 9th row seats.
To think that the Beatles, were right this close to seeing them. Not that I could touch them, but they were close enough to where you could really see them. And I had never seen anybody important like that before in my life. But I didn't really thought that people carried on like that until you actually saw it. And it was just terrific. I'll never will forget it, and it just seems like it was just yesterday that it happened. It was great.
The Beatles stage was set up where that scoreboard is today. Only about a third of the stadium was filled, 13,000 people. In fact, it turned out to be the lowest crowd throughout the Beatles tour. Ellis Labordi was the City Park general manager when the Beatles performed here. He sat in the press box, which turned into a command post.
The policemen were trying to hold them back. But even the Beatles held back for a while until, as they call it, a football game that was going on between the police department and hundreds of youngsters trying to get in touch with the Beatles. So after this was done, well, then the Beatles continued to perform.
Joe Bush was in charge of making sure nothing went wrong. He remembers when the lights went out in one of the trailers.
And that was the trailer where the Beatles were. And John Lennon came out, and I asked him, I says, what do you think about New Orleans? He says, I'm bloody scared of these people. Man, people were whooping and hollering, and the police had to hold these people back.
When the Beatles were leaving the stadium, the crowd stormed their limousine. Patrick Guerin was just 7 years old.
And with the crowd surge going towards the car, my face was smashed up against the window, and there they were, all four of them sitting in the back seat. Like, Jesus, that's them.
The Beatles left a lasting impression on an entire generation that discovered rock and roll. This was history in the making, and while City Park Stadium is only used for high school football games today, there is a reminder that the Beatles were here. This plaque says it the best. There will never be another Beatles. Robin Cohen, News 8, City Park.
What a night. Then Mayor Vic Spiro declared September 16, 1964 as Beatles Day, and he also made the Beatles honorary citizens of New Orleans, a title they cling to this very day.
I can understand why he would have done that. The Beatles made a lot of young ladies very happy
Boy,
back then.
Did you see it in the video? They were just a little excited.
They were excited indeed. Well, the Saints are in Green Bay tonight preparing for battle with the Packers.
Get 'em Saints. While LSU and Tulane battled it out on home turf tonight, Lionel will have highlights and much more when News 8 New Orleans tonight continues.